You can see I make a bit of a mess in here with all the gardening supplies this time of year. But we'll get this cleaned up as the work gets done. Mom had me put the flag out, and she purchased some new flowers and hanging baskets for the front here. Yellow and the red looks beautiful. She always likes this plant. What's it called? Bleeding Heart, I think, because of the little heart-shaped blossoms. They're kind of pinkish or red. Alright, we're going to go around to the back of the house. Of shrubs that are always kind of difficult to keep trimmed back off the trail here. This hosta plant, I took a piece out of this end and transplanted it in the back before all the leaves started unfolding. That's a section of soil along the house that we can tidy up. Okay, this is going to be the garden. Going to have tomato plants, that's for sure, but Mom mentioned a desire to put in a couple of peppers, some sort of like bell pepper or something. She'll see I'm not raising any of those from seed, I'm just doing tomatoes. And on the deck, and the deck is in need of new stain, paint, something again. I replaced a few boards because might as well use the old wood for the raised garden over there. So I took a few of the older boards, a little more worn boards out of this deck, replaced those with newer ones. So that came back together yesterday. So these pots are going to hold, well, probably tomatoes. The only thing I've put in so far is I do have a tomato plant in that pot. Now we're going to see if the squirrels and chipmunks leave it alone, or I may have to do some sort of fencing. So the idea is I'll have 3 pots on the deck, plus I'll have the raised bed garden over there. It doesn't get quite as much sunlight back here, but you do what you can with what you've got. We'll look upward, and you can see there are several very large trees, so it's hard to get good sunlight back here. Here's the next door neighbor out cutting his grass. Some trimmings. That tree right on the corner of the house, it's kind of somewhere between a tree and a shrub. I'm going to dig that out and plant it in the back. We'll pan across. Go to this back corner. That's where I've been working today. All this lawn through here I dug up and leveled last year, so this is new grass. I wish it was thicker and I wish there were fewer weeds, but that'll happen with time. I have to keep giving it treatments. So this tree was mostly dead, so I've cut that out. I'm working on digging out the stump. The hole that will remain there is going to be filled when I dig out that tree on the corner, there we go, by the dining room, and bring that, I'll drag that over here and plant it in this space. Not a whole lot of sun here either, but hopefully it'll be enough to keep it happy. And it's really, I'll show you when I get close. It's a little tight to the house right now. So along the back line here, a lot of these little pine trees. These 2 bushes are thinning out. I'm not quite sure if they'll survive. I moved this one and this one over here from the side of the house. They were too close to the foundation. I had to work on some things there. So I dug them out. I didn't think I wasn't going to keep them, but then I figured I'd give it a try. So I've got them planted and propped and watered a lot, and we'll see what survives. Did this little raised section back here. Had a bunch of small stone left over from digging around the yard last year. I spread it out, put soil over it, and put in some ground cover plants, and we'll see what else I can get growing here. This is the piece of the hosta from the side yard that I brought here, and it seems to be completely happy. It's growing, and obviously the leaves are coming out. We'll see how that does. There's I think it's called a peony. It's a tiny little thing, but we'll see if it grows. See how well it does. That came from the side of the house. I've been trying to keep it alive. It came up again this year, so I went ahead and moved it to where it's got this new soil, and looking after watering this stuff, and we'll see how it does. Our backyard chipmunks live in this hole. So as I dig this up and do seed, I don't know, I kind of like chipmunks, but we'll see if they're going to be able to stay here or not. This is the end of the yard that I did not do last year. Still needs to be tended to. See, from a distance, 2/3 of the yard maybe that I did last year is looking pretty good, comparing to how sparse it was before then. But it really needs to thicken up, and I need to do more weed treatment. Alright, let's come down to the side. Oh, there's one of the chipmunks running along the side of the house. Okay. So you can see the base of this thing is very close to the house. So that'll be fun to dig that out of there. But hopefully it'll survive the transplant, and I can put it back in that back corner. But that'll allow me to get at the siding, to do better cleaning, a lot of things. This thing is a little too big and a little too close to the house, so we're going to move it. This other shrub will leave, and it should fill out and be a lot happier to have a place to itself. Those two bushes I moved came from this side of the house. So I dug all that out through there. There was a crack in the concrete that I needed to patch, and that's still underneath that water barrier. So I've got it cleared, clean, and watertight. Just allowing the dirt to pack down better, and when I decide what kind of ground cover, mulch, stone, whatever I put in there, then I'll worry about addressing that. Good to get the rest of the cement foundation wall painted, so it's that same kind of beige, you know, and that's sort of similar to the siding all the way around the house now. That project's finally done. Oh, let's walk around here. Let's see, I need to do mulch. It tends to break down and get kind of powdery. So I need to add more to that and do a little bit of cleanup around it, some of the weeds. And similar thing with this ground cover section. That's normal springtime maintenance. I'm trying to think what this ivy is called. Oh, I think it's called myrtle. Wonderful little purple flowers. They look quite pretty. We'll see what else grows back in this year. Still have a fair number of dandelions in the yard. Did some weed treatment last year, and it's kind of an eternal struggle. All right. I'm going to clean up inside, and I have a concert to go to tonight.